We're back on Race for the White House. The president's bailout plan still hanging in the balance now. Joining me to talk about it is Bob Casey, Democratic senator from Pennsylvania, also a member of the Senate Banking Committee, the Committee on Housing and Urban Affairs as well. Senator, good to have you here.
Thank you, David.
Are you prepared to vote for this? And if you are, why?
Well, no, not yet, because I have not seen the details. But I was hopeful today after if you had asked me last night, I would have said we had a long, long way to go. Today, it was a lot of optimism, a lot of momentum, and an agreement on principles, some basic principles that I've been insisting on with regard to more help for home ownership to keep people in their homes, more efforts to provide oversight. The executive compensation issue was very important to me and so many others. It seemed today, as of about 1:30 or 2 o'clock, that there was an agreement, at least in principles, on at least 3 or 4 major items, and that was the result of a lot of hard work by Chairman Dodd, Chairman Frank, and Democrats and Republicans. And now it seems that some Republicans, and this is just a few, and apparently led by John McCain, have taken this in a different direction. But we have to keep working.
You mentioned John McCain. NBC News' Brian Williams has just interviewed Senator McCain following his meeting at the White House this afternoon. Let's listen to a portion of that.
And doing what I did by coming back to Washington, beginning with my colleagues, talking, discussing, and coming up with, I hope, consensus and sufficient bipartisan, bicameral support is what I think I need to do for the country. And if that hurts me politically, I'll gladly take the penalty.
Senator, what impact is Senator McCain having? You alluded to it just a moment ago.
Well, I don't think we're sure yet, but all I know is that there was a lot of consensus, 2 houses, 2 parties in the early afternoon. The only thing that changed between early afternoon and late in the evening was John McCain was moving around Capitol Hill. And I think that for him to make the assertion that somehow Democrats and Republicans who have been meeting for days now, for more than a week, we had meetings last Friday with the Republicans and Democrats in the Banking Committee that far back. For him to say now that somehow we need him to bring about consensus, I think that what transpired this afternoon.
All right, but Senator, you're saying two different things. You're saying 2 different things. On the one hand, you're saying he's got no impact on the process. On the other hand, you're saying he's actually leading an effort on the part of some Republicans and conservatives in opposition to this. Is that what you understand it?
I think it's entirely possible, based upon what transpired this afternoon, that a consensus was which had been arrived at between Democrats and Republicans in the House and the Senate started to be threatened by what Senator McCain was doing. I think it's up to him now and to his Republican colleagues, who seem to be conflicting with their own party, to try to put this back on track. Because right now, the concern that I have and a lot of people have is not just that everyone on Capitol Hill get along. That's secondary. What I'm concerned about are small businesses and families who can't have access to credit to buy an automobile, to make payroll in a small business, to send their kids to college. We're worried about credit and credit at the family level, at the community level.
Let me just bring people up to date on some of the breaking news here. Brian Williams' interview with Senator McCain also produced additional news that Senator McCain does hope and says he's hopeful that he'll be at the debate tomorrow. I've spoken to top Obama sources throughout the afternoon who indicate they feel like the debate will go on. Certainly the economy is going to be part of this, as well as international affairs, which was the agreed upon topic for this debate. I want to ask you about this bailout plan. And when you go home to Pennsylvania and people say to you, Senator, I'm having a hard time making the mortgage payment. I can't get a loan for a car. I'm a small business. I can't keep it going unless I can get a loan. And they say to you, how is this going to work? Will this actually work to make my life a little easier? What do you tell them and why?
Well, what I've tried to focus on is the current problem we have. The problem we have is as complex as this is, it's very simple in terms of what the problem is. We've got a credit problem. And if banks aren't willing to lend money to a small business or lend to a family to do all the things we do in our lives with credit, the economy has frozen up, and that's causing real economic stress. The problem we have going forward is if we don't come to some agreement and have something that's very positive, moving in the right direction for taxpayers and for the country and for the economy, that freezing up of credit is going to cause long-term problems. So I think we're we're moving in the right direction to come together, Democrats and Republicans, even senators who don't agree on anything else are coming together to work on this. So it's been a tough day, but we got more to do today and tomorrow.
Right. Let's talk about leadership and all of this. The New York Times editorialized this way this morning. Given President Bush's shockingly weak performance, the only ones who could provide that are the two men battling to succeed him, So far, neither John McCain nor Barack Obama is offering that leadership. Do you disagree with that? What leadership has Senator Obama provided here in getting this bailout through and providing leadership to look forward on an economic crisis that will be with the next president for sure?
Well, I think Senator Obama has provided the kind of leadership we would expect not only in a nominee for president, but in a president. I think he's acted and demonstrated, as he has on numerous occasions in this campaign, the kind of leadership we expect. What does that mean? That means setting forth principles with regard to taxpayers, with regard to fairness, with regard to moving the economy forward. And secondly, by consulting with the kind of expertise that any president should consult with at a time of economic crisis. He hasn't been a grandstander. He didn't try some stunt to come back to Washington to try to play politics. I think he showed the kind of measured, calm, and focused leadership that we would expect in any crisis, especially one that has its foundation in our economy. And I think it was abundantly clear between the way he's conducted himself, especially the last few days, and what Senator McCain has been doing.
Senator Bob Casey of Pennsylvania from the Banking Committee as well. Senator, thanks as always.
Thank you, David.